Yes, as you saw in that intro, that B-roll sequence was filmed of me by me. So this video is about filming B-roll by yourself. Now, optimally, if we could have a filmmaker follow us around and film us while we film, that would be absolutely amazing. But welcome to reality where this doesn't happen. Unfortunately, you need to learn techniques to film yourself if you are doing some epic B-roll or montages. Now, if you do collabs with other creators, then that's better because you can get them to film you, you can film them, it can work hand in hand. But if you don't collaborate with other people or not as often as you would like, these tips are going to be really handy for you. Now, I will be using the A7 III, which I am filming on right now, with the 17 to 28mm f2.8 lens by Tamron. And the A7 III is stabilized, so it has in-body image stabilization, which makes it a great combination. So you won't get those micro jitters. Now, I'll also be filming at 1080 at 100 frames per second, and which is 4 times slow motion. So I have that ability to slow it down 4 times, which is absolutely fantastic. So the picture profile I'll be using is HLG. It's really easy for me to color grade, and I do recommend HLG. It's very similar to your Cine 2 and Cine 4. You want to do your own white balance as well, so manually white balance before you get started. Manual focus is extremely important in these instances. You don't want to autofocus because you don't want the camera to try and choose whatever you want in focus. You want to be in complete control of where your depth of field is and where your focal point is. Finish position right here, catch focus there, recording, and go. So another one of these tips is you're going to be doing this over and over again. So repetition is probably one of the biggest things when it comes to this. You got to understand you can't get it done the first time. Usually it isn't done the first time. You got to do it over and over and over again. Recheck it, recheck your composition, your focus, and then obviously you can move on if you've got the shot. Okay, so next we are in this position. Always, continuity is a pretty big, important key factor when it comes to short films and documentaries and commercials and all that sort of stuff, product photography. You need to see where your last shot started or ended and try and make it very similar. You don't want the continuity to sort of look a bit strange, like a cup is facing the complete opposite direction. Yeah, someone will pick it up. Trust me, someone always picks those kind of things up. What I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna slide on the table. What you can do is you can put a cloth down so it makes it nice and smooth when you do slide. You don't wanna scratch the table or scratch the bottom of your camera. So you can see here, this slides really smoothly. That's gonna make it easy. So catch my focus. That's where I'm going to finish the shot if I can. And let's give it a crack. Not happy with that? Let's keep it in the thirds with this next one. To that side of the thirds. I'm out of focus. Let's go again. So when you are in manual focus, what you want to try and do is try and keep that similar distance to the object as best as possible. This will allow you to understand where your depth of field is, so you can kind of gauge it by eye. If you have a decent quality back screen and focus peaking on, manual focus will be a little bit easier. So I'm going to use this cloth here again. That's where I'm going to do it. I'm going to do a bit of a tracking thing and go across, flick. Let's try again. Got it. So let's see what we have so far. Let's put it all together and see what we got. So what I'm going to do here is catch focus and just flick that right there. Then I'm going to get the kettle to boil and I'm going to capture it boiling. So just take note of continuity in this spot. Seems like we're just about ready. Catch focus. It's gonna click. There we go. That's the money shot. I'm going to come over this, grab the spoon, back in, and then I'll cut. So what can help is I'm actually going to put my hand up against, so it's almost like a first person view when I open this up. Rolling. That was okay. I was a little bit over the top. Let's have a look. Look-sees. We'll go again. I'm actually quite happy with that. It looked pretty decent, but why not go again? Rolling, let's go. So I'm going to be doing a lot of speed ramping in post, and I'll show you guys what speed ramping is. If you don't already know, it makes a big difference when you're actually doing some of these movements. So it can really sell that movement. Why not? Let's try. Let's give it a roll. 3, 2, 1. Go. Grabbed 2. Supposed to grab 1. I grabbed 2. And go. Perfect. All right, so we're gonna prop the camera up into a pretty cool angle. Now I've got a UV filter on, and you'll see why, because I'm gonna get really, really close to a lot of powders and dust, and even the coffee pouring in, or the hot water pouring in. You don't want all that shit onto the front of your element of the lens. You may as well have it onto that really dumb, cheap UV filter. I think the catch is here. Got the coffee cup in the background. Let's get that focus there. Ready? Center focus, 3, 2, 1, rip. So I'm gonna get that pouring sound. Sound design is extremely important in post-production, and I'm gonna show you guys why. After this, obviously, the production side, we'll go into post-production. Okay, so this is going to prove difficult. See that? Went out of focus. I need to know my distance. Okay. Timeout. Batteries cut out on that one. So that is the worst part about the A6000 series, is that the battery is so stupidly small, it sucks. Ready? Nope. I need more light. Aziz, light. Look how I'm holding the camera. That. Holding it like that. You do what you gotta do to get the shot. Right there. Ready? 3, 2, 1. So now let's go into the editing and show you exactly the process and a lot of tips that I need to tell you guys about how to make this thing look really good. Okay, so we're into the editing software of Premiere Pro, and I'm just going to show you exactly what it looks like here. So this is rolling through the motion at regular pace, filmed at 100 frames per second. Okay, so what we're actually going to do here is I'm going to show you the after of what I did with speed ramping and the sound effects. Now you can see there speed ramping makes an absolutely crazy difference, and obviously the sound effects do make, they sell the shot. The sound effects is extremely important there. With speed ramping, what it does is cuts out a lot of the unnecessary parts. So choose the part where you want to start, which let's just say as soon as I pull back there, that's probably my starting point right there. Zoom in a little bit where it says effects there, the yellow effects thing, right click on that, time remapping and speed. Then you're going to select a couple of points. So we're going to keep it slow at the start, grab this pen tool here, and you can mark a point. Zooming in a little bit more, marking a point there, speed it. I'm going to slow it down here and approximately here. I like to drop a couple of points down, and then we'll speed it up again, slow it down again, sorry, when we get to there. Now grab the selection tool and see how it's got those two arrows. You're going to drag that down. Now I'm going to drag it down to 25%, which is 4 times slow motion. Same thing with that one. Drag that down to 25%. Right there. And obviously at the start as well, I'll get that starting point 1 at 25%. So it goes from 25% to normal, 25, normal, 25, normal, and then I'm going to do a little bit of a slow motion in the middle there. Grab the selection tool, zoom in if you can't find the drag. There we go, drag it down, and there we go, slow motion, and then finish. Okay, so what you can do as well is you want to try and bring a little bit of a smooth ramp. So drag these little points out. This one's proving to be difficult. I'm going to do this one. Drag these points out. So see how there's a gap in between these points here. Zoom in a little bit. Select that point and see this little icon here. You're actually going to drag it across. So if I bring this up a little bit more, you can see it goes from a flat line and hard stops there to a smooth curve. So that smooths that motion of going from 25 frames per second to 100 frames per second out. So just getting that smooth motion, it's not 100% necessary, like you don't have to do it. It just makes it a little bit more, I suppose, professional in a way. It's just gives it sells the effect a little bit more. So all these little things, they add up and they can actually make your film look much more professional as such. There we go. Just had to zoom in. Sometimes you just have to zoom right in to see it. And this is what we got for now. Speed ramps. Okay, that looks all right. But to sell the speed ramping, what I'm going to do is instead of just staying at 25 frames per second, 25% less, so 4 times slow motion, I'm going to speed ramp the normal speed faster. So I'm going to speed it up by 2. So let's throw all these at 200%, drag them all up to 200. I'm a bit pedantic when it comes to the numbers. I like to get it right on the 200. So speed, so see how that makes it look so much better than just your standard So speed ramping makes a massive difference. And then you add sound effects to it as well. So sound effects can definitely sell it. You can see here the regular one, the sound effects does make a big difference, which we'll throw up. So I get all my sound effects from Epidemic Sounds. They've got all the sound effects you really need, and it's great. Sometimes you do have to find particular sound effects that aren't necessarily the same sound, but you want to try and find like a sound that replicates dropping a spoon into the cup, which is like a metal on ceramic sort of sound, or metal on metal. You'll be able to find the sound. You've just got to search for a little bit. And what you tend to do is, if you do find that sound, chuck it into a folder. So throw it directly into a folder and rename it. So rename it whatever you want to rename it. And then you've got that sort of all those sounds backed up. And then you can choose from that sound if you need it again. So that is quite important with that. But I pretty much do that speed ramping, that similar trick throughout the whole video. So you just need to choose the correct sort of spots where you want to see the motion slow down and when you want to speed it up. Just having it at a regular pace does get a little bit boring. Speed ramping just makes it a little bit more difficult, and it can sell the transition as well. So when you're transitioning from one piece to another, you're going to get a little bit more sort of smoother transitions. So we will go from, where did we have it last? So we use this one. So I'm gonna control copy, control paste, throw that flat up against that one. And this is what we've got here. So speed ramping out of it is a great idea. I'm gonna throw this up against what we just edited here. So you can see I can get rid of all that unnecessary parts right there. As soon as it makes contact is when there we go. So see that? It can almost make it look seamless, like it's one whole shot. The other shot you can speed ramp faster, so at 250. You can even throw this up to 250 and then bring the other clip into 250 as well. So see how that speeds into it? That can really sell that transition. It's super simple. I mean, you can throw a transition onto it as well. I generally just leave it as is, but one of the transitions that I use, and I've done the tutorial before, is the zoom transition. If you do want to check that transition out, I'll link it in the description below or just up the top here in the screen. You can check that out. You will have to look through the Osmo Pocket stuff, but that zoom transition is there if you do want to utilize that. So that's probably the only sort of transitions I use. Most of my transitions are in camera, and I'll just add like a blur effect on a adjustment layer. So that's pretty much the basics of the editing there. You want to do that throughout the whole footage and put the correct amount of sound design on top, because sound design makes a massive difference. So that's playing now. This is the actual scene. So there you have it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that like button. That would be absolutely amazing. Comment below if you have any questions or anything to do with the speed ramping or behind the scenes. I am going to be making a short film, so I'll be doing the behind the scenes of that short film. I'm already in the pre-production phase at the moment. So be sure to hit that subscribe button and also that bell notification so you can be notified when that drops as well. Other than that, guys, my name is Jason Morris, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time.